What is up? I'm back. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Shot of Sports podcast. Grab a drink, a snack. This is your weekly dose of sports where we'll break down and do a deep dive of the world of sports. Whether you're a casual fan or a diehard, we're here to bring you the latest, the best analysis, and the hottest takes. Go ahead and subscribe, share, even leave a comment. We appreciate all the feedback. Smash the like button for us and tap the notification bell on the right so you can be notified whenever we drop. So you won't miss one. Today we got on the show. We got Sam Strash, Chris Pittner, and Nazir is going to be on in a second. So how was y'all weekend?
We're one game away from George Webb's Burgers in Milwaukee right now for 12 straight Brewers wins. So we might be making a road trip to Milwaukee tomorrow, potentially, if they bring it home tonight. So it was a good weekend watching some good baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I've
got a
never had George Webb, and I'm kind of hoping they pull it off so that tonight while I'm in Waukesha, I can go experience the bliss that is a George Webb cheeseburger. So, hoping for the best. But yeah, there's something special about this team. There's something special.
yeah we got a yeah. So you have a guy saying, "Whoa, early pod." Yep, I got work at like what is it? 9 o'clock my time. So that's like what 10 y'all's. So we have to start an hour early. Um, it's like 7:30 over here, 7:40. So I'm like dead right now.
Hey, what better way to start your day?
Right?
Yeah, why not?
So yeah, so we're gonna start with our first topic, which is NFL training camp is underway. We got the training camp starts this week, so we're gonna look at over the next few pods. We're gonna break down each of the primetime games. So today we're gonna start with the Monday night football games, which is for the season. We got the full schedule right there for us. So you want to you all see the schedule right there. So let's break down each game.
Hmm. Uh, I think the games that immediately, could you put the schedule back up really quick?
Yeah.
The games that really pop off the screen to me so far. Definitely week 8 between the Commanders and Chiefs. That'll be a really good game. Two really good offenses, an up and coming team against kind of the dominant team of our era. And then obviously week 10, Packers Eagles. It's a rematch of the playoffs last year. That should be another really fun game as well. Week 1 could be interesting because we don't know what we're going to get out of the Bears this year because the last couple of years I've been saying it's their chance to break out and it just hasn't happened.
Whoa.
So to make a statement week 1 by defeating Minnesota would be huge for them.
Yeah, I was gonna say that first week. I mean, there are high expectations for the Bears. Let's not get it twisted here. They had a good finish to the season, beating up on a playoff team of the Green Bay Packers on their home turf in -5 degree wind chill. I was there for that one. That was a thriller of a game if you're a pure general football fan. But that game is going to be interesting because it's the second year of Caleb Williams, right? His first year, he might already be the best Bears quarterback they've ever had, right? Just in 1 year, he's already trending in that direction. So is the sophomore slump going to hit like it hit CJ Stroud, who we're seeing in week 2? Week 2, Tampa versus Houston. Is Houston the real deal again? Are they going to be able to run it back with another AFC South division championship? And Tampa Bay, is this the year they're a Super Bowl contender? Baker Mayfield has looked like the Baker Mayfield, or hasn't looked like the Baker Mayfield of old, I should say. He is this new rejuvenated Baker Mayfield from college that we're seeing once again. He's been one of the best quarterbacks in football since joining Tampa Bay. That's going to be a nice matchup to watch because one of those two teams is going to be out to a 2-0 start more than likely.
So what I think the most appealing game on this entire schedule, I want to say, would probably be who. I'll say two of them. I'd say that Eagles Packers game is going to be something to watch here in Week 10,
It's at
especially when
Lambeau this time.
right. So they'll be at
Mm-hmm.
Lambeau Field this time, and you know Packers have been in the playoffs for the past I don't know how long. So That's going to be an instant playoff matchup right there already. And that's going to have some serious seeding implications too, depending on how the seasons are going for both of those teams. And then another appealing game that really stands out to me is that Bears and Commanders game.
I was
We're
just
gonna
about to say,
we're
I
gonna
think you're
really
looking at that
see
one.
we're gonna really see who's the better quarterback, in my opinion. Now, everybody's gonna be talking about, oh, the Bears did make the right move and taking Caleb Williams and things like that. I agree because the Bears were never going to take Jaden Daniels. They were never going to take Jaden Daniels. When they were drafting, it was either Jaden Daniels. I mean, it was either Marvin Harrison or Caleb Williams. That's who it was going to be for the Bears to pick. Whether they traded back a pick or two, or they just drafted Caleb like they did. So I believe that's going to be intriguing as well. And you got, in week 3 as well, you got the Lions and Ravens, which is going to be a huge matchup as well. That could be Super Bowl implications in week 3, but it's going to be so early still. But yeah, those two games that I was looking at the most were Bears, Packers, and Bears, Commanders in week 6, and then Packers, Eagles week 10.
I think that Lions Ravens matchup is going to tell us a lot about who the biggest contenders are at the start of the season, because last year Baltimore was a whisker away again from making the Super Bowl. And I know we talked a lot about what they did this offseason on previous pods where they made some good moves. They got Jair Alexander in the building. This is their boom or bust year. If they don't win it this year, it's going to be tough to win it from here on out. But I think a really underrated game on here is going to be Bengals Broncos, because we're going to see one of the best pass offenses in Cincinnati with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase go up against probably the best defense and best corner in the NFL with Patrick Surtain and all those other additions that the Broncos made on their defense. That'll be a really fun game to watch, just like it was last year.
Yeah, and is Cincinnati going to bounce back after missing the playoffs again? I mean, that team is just too talented roster construction wise to not make the playoffs. They're just way too talented of a team to not get there almost every single season. Last year might have just been a fluke. Last year might have been just one rough season that they've had. They brought back their whole team more or less, and Chase Brown is going to be in his second year. Chase Brown looked amazing last season. I don't know about you guys, but I'm buying in heavy on the Chase Brown stock if I'm a Bengals fan. So that game is going to be fun to watch. Another game that I think is going to be fun to watch is Tampa-Detroit, week 7. Mm-hmm. That's another good one. Sam Darnold also getting a primetime game in week 7 with the Seahawks up against the Texans. The Seahawks are going to be an interesting team to watch this year. I don't think they're going to be a fun team. I don't think they're going to be turning any heads, but they're going to be interesting because of the roster construction. They lose DK Metcalf. They lose Geno Smith. They actually, if I'm not mistaken, they trade him away to Vegas, and then he signs a contract extension. And that he might have been a free agent. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but they lose out on Geno Smith. They trade away DK Metcalf. They bring in Sam Darnold, who had the best year of his career. Finally looked like the 5th overall pick he was with the Jets. Granted, he's in a Kevin McConnell offense that was so easy for any quarterback to fit into. That's why I think J.J. McCarthy is going to end up being one of the better quarterbacks in that draft class because he fits so well into that system. And then they also had Cooper Kupp, who's a longtime Ram, first year not in L.A. This is going to be interesting for Cooper Kupp to see what his season looks like. And he's going to be working primarily out of the slot, too, against the Houston defense that's pretty all right in the secondary now. They've had some secondary issues in the past. They're pretty good now. That's going to be a fun game to watch, too, because of how interesting Seattle is going to be this year.
Yeah, I can agree. So what do we go say is the least game that you really don't care about?
New England versus New York. Just, I don't know, two teams that aren't great. That one really pops off the screen for me, I think, in terms of the like lower tier of games. I mean, you could maybe throw out like a 49ers Colts, depending on how the 49ers do this year, because I don't know what to expect from that team. Like, they could go back to going 12-5 this year and be a good team again, just because McCaffrey's back. A lot of the injured guys are back, but they've lost a lot of talent the last few years. So getting back to that peak that they were at, almost winning the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. I just don't know if that's going to happen again, at least for the foreseeable future. They're going to have to reload some talent, I think, but it'll be interesting to see how they turn out this year. And I think Carolina's another upstart team as well, but definitely that New England, New York game. I don't know. I don't have a ton of interest in that.
Well, I think that might be one of the more entertaining ones. But you got to look at it from two different perspectives. Number one, you look at it from both of these teams are just straight buns. And let's say we get to week 13, the Giants are 1-12 and the Patriots are 3-9, right? Patriots had their bye, Giants didn't. Let's say that's the case. You're looking at two teams that they're both trying to win the ball game, but one of them is going to have better odds of the first overall pick than the other after that game. And it's two teams of very similar competitive skill. That'd still be a fun game to watch, right? That's another one that you can because football is such an easy sport to just tune into any game you want. That's one of those games that it's going to be entertaining because of how bad both teams are, and it's still going to be a highly competitive matchup. Or you look at it from the perspective of the Giants might start turning things around. Depends on how Jackson Dart's playing ability is in the NFL. How well can he transition
if they
from a pro style
Jackson Dart?
Well, I think they will. I think they will. And Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, sure. I think Jackson Dart will be starting by week 13, right? It depends on his transition from a kind of pro style offense at Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin up to the Giants with Brian Daboll. And then the Patriots, too. People are buying Patriots stock big time. They're thinking, like, the ceiling for this Patriots team this year is the 7 seed. I could very well see them going 9-8 and getting that 7 seed. In some world, it happens. Odds are they're probably going to be 5-12 again, but this is a game that could be fairly competitive. I think the biggest snooze fest out of all of these games is either going to be Dallas versus Vegas or Buffalo is going to beat the tar out of Atlanta. That game might not be interesting to watch at all. Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, year in and year out, doesn't matter how that roster is constructed. Josh Allen's on the team, you're scoring 40 against a bad defense.
I think
go ahead.
I think another game that just doesn't really intrigue me that much, especially if Tyreek Hill gets traded, is that Pittsburgh versus Miami game. I don't know. Those teams are they're mid is what they are. I think both of them are pretty mid. They're okay. They're 9-8 fodder is what they are. That's what they're destined to be right now. I don't think the Steelers are going to really move up from there at all. They're going to stay right around that average to slightly above average territory. Miami didn't get any better this offseason. They have one of their star wide receivers who wants out right now. One of the guys we talked about last week in that tier list. I don't know. That game just feels like a 17-14 slugfest all the way around.
I would say the game that I least care about the most is that no disrespect to Justin Fields because I would love to watch him play, but that Jets and Dolphins game might be trash in week 4.
I was thinking something
depending
similar.
on the Dolphins, if they have a good offense and how Justin Fields look by week 4.
Well, this is the year they got to figure it out because I honestly, even if you go 9-8 or if you go 10-7 and you get knocked out of the playoffs right away again, Mike McDaniel's on the chopping block. He has to be. There hasn't been any real success with this guru that is Mike McDaniel. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a great head coach. However, you got to put your money where your mouth is. The whole league recognizes that Mike McDaniel is a terrific coach, but why has this very talented Dolphins team not been able to put it together and go far into the playoffs? Right? I'm not even talking about just the wild card route, like just getting there. I'm talking about at least winning a playoff game. They haven't been able to do that with Mike McDaniel just yet, and that's what I'm talking about putting your money where your mouth is. This Dolphins team has to do that this year, or Mike McDaniel's job is on the line.
And not only that, they gave Tua a huge extension, and he's been nothing but injury prone. He's shown a lot of flashes throughout his career of being a franchise level quarterback, but it's just all those concussions that he's had. I think they've started to affect his playing career a little bit, and he can't win in the cold either. That's another big thing. If you want to go deep in the AFC in January, you got to be able to win in the cold. You got to be able to
You
win
gotta
in
win in
Baltimore, Kansas
Buffalo.
City, or Buffalo,
Yep.
and he hasn't been able to do that yet. So that experiment with Tua and McDaniel could be coming to an end sooner than we think.
Well, we got one of our other guy that just popped in, Nazir Spencer. How was your weekend, buddy?
It's good, man. My bad. I'm late. Work takes over. a
No,
little
no
bit.
worries. I got
But,
work in about an hour anyway. So we the things we do for y'all is
Yeah, no,
you
no
know.
cap. But yeah, about those Dolphins, they're
We
trash.
want to say what's the most highly anticipated game that you're looking forward to?
Well, let me see. Well, that Chargers Eagles game is going to be nice. Week 14. It's gonna
Here
be
we go.
fun.
Nope.
The
I'm excited.
bias is insane.
Oh, hold on. I'm
I
excited.
haven't
No,
even
hold on, I'm
said
not done
Kansas
yet.
City, Jacksonville. All right,
I'm not even
I'm
done
just gonna
yet.
put it out there.
Go
I'm not
ahead.
even done yet. I'm excited for the Packers Eagles game. That's going to be fun. Yeah, I'm on your side too, buddy. And then I'm not gonna lie, that Bengals Broncos game is going to be very interesting because last year the Bengals lost. No, they beat the Broncos, but barely. I think, right?
Oh no, the Broncos beat them
was
overtime.
the other way
Remember that
around,
Marvin
yeah.
Mims
Had that
catch? Yeah,
crazy game.
That was
Bo Nix
like,
broke out. Yeah,
that was like it ruined their playoff hopes or whatever. But they were already pretty much out. But that game would have helped a lot. But yeah, the Broncos, they're very interesting for me to watch this year. I am excited for them, but I also don't want them to win because they're in our conference, obviously. But also week 8, keep an eye on that one. Jaden Daniels might outplay Patrick Mahomes for the first time.
That's a great one.
we haven't even talked about that one yet.
I'm a high Jaden Daniels believer because he is just unreal, and I think Patrick Mahomes is overrated. So that's just me. But
Ooh.
yeah, that's my opinion. But that's I think that might be the game that I'm looking most forward to, ultimately, because the Commanders have a whole new team. The Chiefs don't really have a whole new team. They just have maybe a different O-line, maybe some different defensive pieces. But
they're getting older.
They're getting
The
older.
team's getting older.
They're trying to run it back with that same team, but they're gonna run into a brick wall when they have to play a younger team. Also, sorry, one more. I just saw this crazy one right here. Week 3, we get an early matchup.
Yep.
Of the
I
NBA
said that too. Yep.
and playing Detroit in Baltimore, which is really cool. So that's going to be a fun game. And yeah, back to your Dolphins one. I don't know why they made that a doubleheader against the Jets in the first place. That's not going to be fun to watch. That's like,
so is that your least one to watch?
I mean, yeah, it's just not. I mean, who wants to see Justin Fields play Tua? I don't see. I'm not excited for that game, especially when you have Joe Burrow versus Bo Nix. Those are better names to me right now than Tua and Justin Fields. No offense, Jalen. I know you like Justin Fields, but
no, I actually said that. I actually said that was one of my least favorite ones to watch. The least ones I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
I know I said that I didn't really care for that game anyway because I don't know how Justin Fields will look in that by week 4, and I don't really know, and I really don't care about the Dolphins at this moment in time because they look like trash anyway. So
for Monday Night Football, these are not bad games. Like
no,
usually these are awful, but these are pretty up to standard, I'd say. I mean, that week 16 one is pretty because Anthony Richardson.
Week 13 is pretty rare.
Nas, what do you think about week 1? Vikings Bears. That's got some serious implications already.
I love it. I think Vikings Bears, that's going to be an even better rivalry, especially with JJ coming to play. I just that new quarterback on the Vikings, no Sam Darnold anymore. I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect, but I expect Caleb Williams to go kind of off. Maybe this is kind of crazy to say, but I think Caleb Williams will be, just unreal this year for some reason. Under Ben Johnson, I think that'll help him a lot. But the Vikings still have the better team, I'd say. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Caleb Williams is able to accomplish against that team week 1, especially in division rivals like the Vikings. So it would be more exciting, in my opinion, if they played the Packers, but it's still a great matchup overall because it's a team that he struggled very much against.
Before we move on, I also said one of the big ones I wanted to watch was Week 10 as well, and then Week 6, which the rematch between Caleb Williams and Jay Daniels.
That's a rematch of the Fail Mary, or whatever they want to call it.
That's an interesting one because the Bears probably should have won that game. They should have won that game.
Yeah, they should have won that game, but
they ruined their season. But Jaden Daniels, I still think he's got a lot more. He's just a little bit more talented right now than Caleb. Very, very.
I do want to say,
I tried to tell somebody that, but you know,
it's a little bit more. It was very interesting, but we'll have to see on that one.
And that's going to really test the theory of, is Jaden Daniels better than Caleb Williams? That's going to have some real implications.
It's only year 2, though. It's only year 2.
It's only year 2,
no.
But he would have beat you twice in head-to-head, and he made the NFC Championship.
That's going to really better overall last year.
Even though it's going to be week 2, it's still going to be some implications to be like, okay, this dude already didn't win the NFC Championship. You ain't even sniffed the playoffs yet.
What's your guys' least favorite? I didn't even get to hear yours.
I want to shout one more game out. I think if Michael Penix is not great this year for Atlanta, that week 17 game between the Rams and the Falcons could turn into a snoozer real quick.
I don't know, man.
I just think it will be already. I just think it will be. It's well, I don't know, because the Rams, like we said about the Chiefs, they just keep getting older and older and older, right?
Yeah,
so
they're so competitive every year, though. They should have.
Their defense is actually a lot younger now, with Jared Verse and some of those other guys that they picked up over the last year or two. Their defense is a lot younger. Is their offense older? Yeah, a little bit. However, the defense makes up for it, and that's how they were able to beat Minnesota last year, was just sacking Darnold so many freaking times at the end of that. In that playoff game, they were just able to get constant pressure on the quarterback, and the Falcons also lost their center, Drew Dahlman, so we don't know how that line's going to hold up against Jared Verse and that Rams defense. So I think that one can turn into a snoozer pretty quick.
I don't know. I think that's going to be a playoff implication game, dude, because the Falcons, they're not a bad team. They're young. They're really young. They're just like the version of the Commanders. I think
it's there's playoff implications if you want to call it an upset, like an upset game against the Rams. I think the only team in that game that has any serious thoughts of going to the playoffs is LA, and I think LA might take a step back too. So that game is going to be, if LA wins, they're in the wild card race. If Atlanta wins, both teams are out.
Sam, do you know what division the Falcons are in? They literally only have to.
Yeah, Tampa Bay.
Tampa
Bay's
Tampa
division.
Bay. Yeah, just
Tampa Bay winning 13 games this year.
They're not winning 13 games this year.
They might mess around and win 13 games this year.
Tampa Bay is still win.
This is the year that Tampa Bay has to break out. Right?
Why?
We've been seeing. Well, Baker Mayfield is only getting better and better in his few years with Tampa Bay.
They're older too, if you want to think about that. Their wide receivers are older and injury prone. Baker's a little bit older. They're older.
I trust right now. If you were to ask me right now, I would trust Baker Mayfield to run a football team more than I'd trust an older Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. So,
whoa.
I mean, I don't know about that, but you take a Super Bowl champion over someone who's only won one playoff game.
I'm taking Baker Mayfield right now in this very moment. If you want to talk about career longevity, we want to talk about accolades across an entire career. Sure, I'll take Matthew Stafford, but right in this very moment, I am taking Baker Mayfield. I think he's got a better offense to work with than Matthew Stafford.
He still can't get past the first round or the division.
The Rams literally just practically made the Rams. Didn't the Rams make the playoffs?
The Rams signed Devontae Adams.
So did Tampa Bay.
They made the divisional round.
That's what I'm saying. Wait, didn't they play the Eagles?
No, they played the Eagles.
They almost beat them.
They came back. They came back on the Eagles, and it was snowing so hard,
and
they still came back. They should have beat them, like the Packers should have beat them. So I don't know.
And 2 years ago, Baker Mayfield went toe-to-toe with the best offense in football in the Detroit Lions in the divisional round.
Yeah, lost.
They lost in the division. They did not lose in the first round. They beat the Eagles that year.
Lost in the divisional round by.
My pop said we can't say some stuff on this cast, but we can't post that. We cannot put that on the screen. But that's crazy.
No, there's nothing with that, dude. Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a good football team.
Yes,
I would trust Baker Mayfield
Matthew
right
Stafford
now
and the Rams.
Why do you trust?
would-
Why do you trust Baker Mayfield so much? I don't.
Yeah,
understand.
before we
Like,
move
I
on,
love,
before we move on, let's get that out the way.
I love Baker Mayfield, but like trusting him to lead them deep into the playoffs at this moment with that team that's getting older, like their defense is not that great right now. I mean, I don't know exactly what you see right now. They were much better last year or 2 years ago when they played the Lions. Like you said, last year they weren't that great. They barely made the playoffs. They were fighting for a playoff spot against the Falcons.
And they still went toe-to-toe with the Commanders, who ended up being in the NFC Championship game. So, I mean, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay is still a good football team. I don't know why we're calling them mid. I don't know why we're calling Baker Mayfield mid. He's proven the last 2 years, including the year before that when he was with the Rams, that he is still a good quarterback. He's still a capable quarterback in this league. He threw for 4,000 yards last year, 30-plus touchdowns. I don't see what we're not seeing in Baker Mayfield.
I don't think we're calling him mid.
We're not calling him.
No,
We're
we're
not saying they're bad,
It's
but
just
better than
don't
Matthew
Matthew
Stafford is also far
Yes.
above mid. They're both better than mid.
We don't
I'm-
think that he has the team to surround him to push through the playoffs like Matthew Stafford does.
Matthew Stafford has a good team around him, yes. Baker Mayfield is a more talented quarterback right now in this very moment. I'm not talking about whole length of career. I'm not talking about the last 5 years, the last 10 years. I'm not talking about any of that crap. I'm talking right in this very moment. Baker Mayfield is a more talented quarterback than Matthew Stafford. I'm trusting him to lead my team into the playoffs more than I would Matthew Stafford right now.
I don't think
Right now,
I don't think
on
Baker
July
Mayfield-
22nd, 2025, I'm trusting Baker Mayfield more right now than Matthew Stafford right now.
I don't think Baker Mayfield would have went toe to toe with the Eagles last year. I'll be honest with you, but that's just me.
He
On the
beat them in the playoffs 2 years ago.
Not in that
Similar-
environment.
Almost the
Yeah,
exact same team outside of no Cooper DeJean. Almost the exact same team, and he beat them in the playoffs.
So you think that the Buccaneers would have won last year if they played the Eagles? And
I think they would have went
Philly?
toe-to-toe with them again at least.
I don't
I think
think
they
so.
would have at least went toe-to-toe with them.
They're
I think Tampa
hard
Bay
to-
would have beaten
That
Green
defense
Bay in
was
the playoffs
completely
last year.
different.
Eagles?
That
No,
defense was
I
I think
think
Tampa
I don't
Bay
think
would have.
so.
I think Tampa Bay would have beat Green Bay in the playoffs last year too.
I
Green Bay
disagree with
was
that.
not great
Green
at the
Bay
end of
might
last year.
be, but
I disagree with that too. Green Bay should have won against the Eagles, but the Rams
I
they should have
disagree.
lost.
I think Green Bay looked terrible at the end of last year. They didn't look good against Chicago, and they didn't look good against Philadelphia, at least offensively. The defense
Mhm.
played well in that game, don't get me wrong, but
Yup.
the offense was not it. The
There are a
only
few
reason
things-
they even got points was because Josh Jacobs dragged them to the end zone, kicking and screaming.
I was gonna say there's a few things. Oh, stop it! Stop that right now. The Bears haven't done anything to prove that they're better than half the teams in the NFL right now. They're an exciting team going into. Okay, our friend Jalen. All right, I just want to make it clear to you. They're an exciting team. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan at heart, and I can also say that the Bears are an exciting team to watch this year from an NFL fan perspective. Those two events are not mutually exclusive. However, Chicago has not done anything to show me that they're better than 2/3 of the teams in the NFC. I cannot say confidently just yet that the Bears are a top half team just in the NFC. I don't think they're a playoff team just yet. I think their ceiling is playoff team. I think their ceiling might even be messing around, and if the NFC North is somehow weak, like let's say Detroit runs into injury problems again and they can't figure it out, especially without Ben Johnson now. Let's say they fall off. Maybe the division is in reach and the Bears are a 4 seed.
there's
However,
absolutely no way the
there-
Lions are going to.
there's a world. Well, they lost
I
both
could
Aaron
see them
Glenn and
regressing a
Ben
little
Johnson. They lost both of their coordinators, right? And Dan Johnson only take you so far, right? But that's besides the point. The Bears haven't shown me anything yet. Caleb Williams showed flashes last year, but he was not a great quarterback. Stop. They're not winning 11 games.
That's kind of.
Can we move on?
That's
I
their
can't do
absolute
this.
ceiling.
I-
The thing is about the Bears, there's a reason we make the off-season champions joke with them because they do this every year. They make a couple
Every
good
year you
signings.
guys do
This
this.
year they were a bit more aggressive. They say their fans say that they're going to go, I don't know, 10-7,
look
11-6,
at the Bears' schedule.
9-8, and
I've
every year
never
it's blown
in
up in
my
their
life
face. They
said
start the
that.
year okay. Everyone figures them out, and then they
Hold up.
struggle down the stretch. They didn't
Let's-
make any progress towards the end of last year. If
Let's look
anything,
at the
they
Bears'
looked better at the start of the season last year. So until they show us, the proof has to be in the pudding with the Chicago Bears. I think that there's a lot that could go well for them. They could definitely be a good team next year. There's no doubt about that. They have the talent now, but they have to show us, and it has to actually be put in the W column.
Now, Pops, I got a rebuttal this. Hold on. He said 11 wins. Okay, let's see.
I
Miami,
think 7-10, 8-9.
Miami week 1. Okay, off
That's
rip.
preseason. That's preseason. That's preseason.
Okay.
Vikings
okay.
week 1. Vikings.
Okay,
week
you're right. Okay. Off rip, you have 2 divisional rivals. That might be 0-2.
It's
Okay.
2 losses.
Losing both.
That's
Losing
2
both.
losses. I'm not even gonna lie. You might play really well against the Lions, but you're losing against the Vikings. Maybe if the quarterback decides to play like crap because it's his first ever NFL game. So maybe you're 1-1. Who knows? Then you play Dallas.
That's a loss. You getting your ass whooped.
That's a pretty even game. Let's be real.
you're getting your ass whooped.
I think
they got
what?
CeeDee
Against
Lamb,
the Cowboys? What are you
they
talking
have
about?
Jalen Johnson on him.
They
Jalen
still don't.
Johnson is a good he's one of the best corners in the
Oh
NFL.
my god, dude! Stop. That's Madden.
Well, the Bears
That's a
Madden is
video
different.
game.
Madden is different. I will
Yes.
say the Bears do look like a good.
You got to
Madden
see
team.
me.
The
I ain't gonna lie.
Bears are gonna win 11 games. You
You
need to
had to
turn off
see
your
me.
PS5 and go to bed. I mean, come
Anyways,
on.
look,
Let's stop it.
Las Vegas Raiders week 4, that's a win. Okay. Then you get an early bye, which sucks. Then you go back to Washington, loss. Okay. You go back home, play New Orleans, win. You go Baltimore. Well, we have 2 wins so far. Okay. We got go to Baltimore. Yeah, have fun. Then you go to
Dude, Cincinnati. Good luck, buddy.
have fun.
This season
All right.
could be over before it really gets going.
All right.
That's the
And
problem.
Then your third win is going to be against the Giants. Maybe. Who knows?
They'll win that.
They'll
one.
win. They'll beat the
They'll win that
Giants.
one.
Okay, they'll be the Giants.
You gotta give them a couple wins.
Then they'll go back to Minnesota. I think the Minnesota won't. They'll split. I'll be honest. Okay, that's 4 wins. Then you go to Pittsburgh.
That's a loss.
Pittsburgh comes to you. Aaron Rodgers.
I think they could
have
beat
fun with that.
Pittsburgh. That
That's
Pittsburgh
a loss,
offense
bro.
is
Aaron
No.
Rodgers owns
The
them.
owner of the Chicago Bears is returning on November 23rd, 2025.
What's that?
It
That's
would
4
be
wins.
for the Bears at least. That would be like the proverbial
5
middle
wins
finger
right now.
if they beat
Hold on.
their owner, though.
All right, let's
it
hurry up,
would
wrap
be.
up.
So
We
that
gotta-
game means a lot to
Hold on,
them,
hold on.
I'm sure.
That's 4 wins, and we're at week 12. Okay,
I think we're at 5.
5. Hold on.
Raiders, Saints, Giants, Vikings, Steelers. So they're on a 3-game win
I
streak here.
think they're losing against the Steelers.
I think they can beat Pittsburgh.
Okay, they lose.
Okay, well, I mean,
yeah.
we can go 5. We can go 5. Okay, whatever. We can go 5.
Let's go
Okay,
5.
and then you go to Philadelphia. Have fun.
That's an L.
I'm not watching that game.
You go to Green Bay. That'll be a fun one. Okay, you might win the first one.
I
but
think
not
they
Lambeau.
split with the Packers.
I
Again
don't think
this
they're
year.
winning Lambeau again. I think that's they're still at 5 wins. Okay, Cleveland Browns 6. Okay, then you play Packers at home. That's 7 because you should have beat them last year. You go to San Francisco. Have fun. But actually, you might
win that one.
I'll give you 8. I'll give you
Detroit
8.
again,
And then
and then
you
Detroit
play.
again, you lose.
You
So
can play the Lions. So you could have 9 wins at this year. Your schedule is
8
absolutely ridiculous.
or 9 wins. Caleb 1-0 in Green Bay. Okay. Yup. Here we go.
You're gonna go 9.
All right, we
8
gotta
again.
move on, bro. We'll be able to
I
have
think
some
that
more.
the Lion or the Bears could pull like. Do you guys remember when the Lions a couple of years ago started like 1-6, had a couple really really unfortunate losses at the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
and then went on a huge streak at the end to go 9-8? I think the Bears, if they're gonna be successful this year, that's gonna be what they have to do, just because the beginning of the year is so tough for them.
Hey, remember when the Jaguars were 3-8 in 2022, and I confidently said they're still winning that division?
Huh.
Just felt like I'd bring that back.
There's
up
another
again.
example of that.
I feel like I'd just bring that back up again.
All right, moving on. So we're moving on to our next one. Who is wide receiver you? Now, we got a lot to talk about with this here. Who is the real wide receiver you?
This is a tough one.
I
This
think
is a real
there's-
tough one.
Out of these 4, there's 2 better options for sure, and they're in the middle. There's no doubt about that. I think
To me,
I'd
Alabama
agree
has
with
a
that.
shout.
To me, right now,
However,
because
just
when we
look
talk
at
about
that
today's
LSU.
NFL,
that LSU lineup is insane.
in today's NFL is LSU.
I don't know,
I
man.
gotta
Ohio
say,
State had some crazy guys.
They got some crazy guys, but dude, we look. They have literally 2 of the best wide receivers in all of football. Like, 1 and 2, not even one T-1.
Hold on. So
And then you got Malik Neighbors, who did
Ohio
what
State.
he did with Daniel Jones,
And
Right
Brian
now.
Thomas is in there
with Tony
too.
DeVito last year.
I'm saying right now, though, it's Marvin Harrison, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Terry McLaurin, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Michael Thomas, Ted Ginn is the old one, I think, and I think San Antonio Holmes went there as well. But those are legends. But this is like they consistently produce first-round talents. I know they don't produce the best ones in the league, but they produce consistent first-round.
And they're getting
wide
Jeremiah
receivers.
Smith coming out in a couple
And they
years,
had
too.
Jeremiah Smith coming up.
And Mecca Ibuka was drafted this
They're,
year.
they're
Emeka
dominant in
Egbuka.
college and NFL, multiple 1,000-yard NFL seasons recently with their wide receivers. So I don't know. I think the Ohio State wide receiver coach, he's like the head right now. I know LSU's second for me, only because Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Odell. That's like my
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Why am I blanking on who number 9 for the Chargers is in that
That's
graphic?
Mike Williams, I think.
that's Jalen Rager.
Or Jalen Rager.
Jalen
Oh.
Rager is a
Think so.
Charger?
Yeah, he's a Charger.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, I think
That
he's
brings him a step down for me, low key. Anyways,
he was good in college.
but LSU it's the
I
flash.
thought Jalen Rager was TCU.
Jalen Rager was TCU, I think.
he's number 9 though. I don't know. Let me see.
But anyways, the flash of that LSU graphic right there: Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is an electric factory.
Oh,
when
Trey
he's
Harris.
healthy and
My bad.
available. Trey Harris. Okay, so
Rookie, right?
Yeah, he's nice though. I completely forgot
Just-
he was number 9.
Malik Neighbors has the flash and the athleticism. Jamar Chase puts up the numbers and he just plays FU ball all the time. Justin Jefferson is the combination of the two of those, right? He's easily the best wide receiver in the whole league. Then Brian Thomas Jr., offensive rookie of the year last year in the AFC. Huge season. And it's only going to get better with a healthy Trevor Lawrence and a better offensive line, right? They're going to be a little bit more dynamic in the run game too. So Brian Thomas Jr., you're going to have a little bit more opportunities to get open, right? So, and then also too, you got to remember Jalen Waddle came from LSU, had a terrific beginning to his career. He's slowly fallen off since
Alabama,
then.
you mean?
Oh, he was at Alabama? Are you serious?
He's
No
there.
He's on
way.
the graphic,
Stop
isn't he?
Stop it.
Yeah, who?
Jalen Waddle? No, who's that in the
Oh.
graphic? Who's that?
Yeah, he
Dolphin
was, wasn't he?
Yeah,
He's
Jalen
Alabama.
Jalen Waddle went to
He's
Alabama.
I could have sworn he went to LSU.
No, he
No,
went
he
to
went to
he went to Alabama, bro.
He was with
nice.
Tua.
He was under
He was with Tua.
Bro, what am I doing? What am I
Me
doing?
personally, I give it to LSU
I gotta
just
go.
because you have two wide receivers like y'all were talking about on Friday. You have the 2 wide receivers that are the best in the game of football,
Mm-hmm.
and
and Malik
then you have
Neighbors.
Malik Neighbors, who did what he did with Tony DeVito.
Stop.
I mean,
Yeah.
I
Tony DeVito.
understand it,
Now
bro.
that's Italian.
The consistency on the
Hank
Ohio State
Jones.
side is insane to me, bro. Like they have such good talent everywhere, every single year, and it's never looked upon because they're not the best in the league. And Marvin Harrison Jr. still has yet to break out. I mean, I don't know with the list that I listed off. I just
Ohio State for me is a very close second, though.
Ohio
Very
State is
close.
I got LSU
deeper.
too.
I think
Yeah.
they're deeper just with the classes that they've been able to produce. There's been more talent per se that comes out of Ohio State, but the talent that comes out of LSU is more
Are like
high-powered.
literally the best in the game. Like
Yeah, you got Malik Neighbors, who could probably be a top 5 wide receiver in my eyes this year. Call that crazy if you want. That's what I think it is. Brian Thomas could be up in that conversation as well. And then you got
he'll be top.
and you
10.
got the 2 best wide receivers in football right there, in Jamar and JJ.
I agree with Chris. That's what I was saying, though. That's why I say LSU is the best one, because
It
LSU,
falls
even
off.
though Ohio State puts out a number of wide receivers who are great and put up numbers and really well and really good for their teams, when you look at LSU, they put up guys that are the best in the NFL when they come out.
But after that, it falls off, kind of. I mean, with Ohio State, at least you're consistent with it. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
yeah, I get that.
all those
Your
receivers
argument's
are
valid,
consistent
but when
stuff.
it comes to LSU, for me, they're the best of the NFL, so that outweighs however many wide receivers come in. Because when you look at, like, say Justin Jefferson, you put him on any team, and he's going to be and they're going to probably go to the postseason. You put Jamar Chase on there, they're going to probably go to the postseason. You got Terry McLaurin on the Commanders for a long time, and they ain't been in the postseason.
He hasn't had a quarterback.
Yeah, got a point.
The
But-
Commanders have never had a competent quarterback since.
So if you put Justin Jefferson on, let's say, the Panthers, you don't think the Panthers can make the postseason?
No, still not.
Probably not.
No, still not. Their
In
management
that division?
No, their management's too bad, bro. They don't have a good organization at all. I understand what you're saying. He'd still have a great season. Don't get me wrong. He'd have a Malik Neighbors type season. But what I'm trying to say is, though, Ohio State, the consistency with the 1,000-yard seasons from all these receivers besides Marvin Harrison Jr. is still yet to break out. You know, the past, you know, Chris Olave, Terry McLaurin, Garrett Wilson, these guys are just good and great. And then you got Jackson Smith and Jigba, who's not even on this graphic. Who is? He's right there. He's right there. Yeah, he's one of the most consistent receivers we've seen. So I value consistency over just top heavy receivers, in my opinion. I don't know. I think the graphic shows all the great ones, but Ohio State produces way more receivers that are consistent than LSU does. I think LSU just produces the top best and then falls off after that.
It's just fine to me because when you're the top best, you are the best. Like, that's why I'm saying. That's why I say it. But Ohio State is a close second. I ain't gonna say they're not.
I think it all depends on what you value more. If you value quantity, you're gonna go with Ohio State.
Oh, yeah.
Just because they produce more wide receivers of that caliber than LSU has. If you value quality, you're gonna pick LSU specifically because the names on that list right there just pop out so much more.
I mean, they got those three wide receivers. There's 1, 2, and 3. Those first 3 wide receivers right there are the best in football. Are some of the best in football.
I don't.
Jackson Smith and Jigba, yeah, he's a great wide receiver. He's about top 20, top 15 maybe.
I could say
Marvin,
you could argue
Marvin
top
Harrison's
10.
yeah.
Marvin Harrison's
going
about
to
top 15.
Yeah,
He's gonna
Garrett
break
Wilson, same thing. Terry, same
15.
thing.
Terry
Marvin
McLaurin,
Harrison's
top
gonna have
20.
a crazy year.
I think Terry's in the top 10, probably.
I don't
Most
think
likely.
so.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
tough.
12.
Can
I
we,
think it's
can we
top
just
12.
show some love to USC though? I mean, they just put out constant producers, like not the flashiest guys outside of. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster made himself flashy, but like they don't produce the flashiest guys. They just produce like guys who put up the yards and get some touchdowns and solid number 2 guys on teams. I mean, they're just year in year out they do that, right? Michael Pittman right there, Jordan Addison is turning.
too.
Drake London is turning that too. Alabama puts out a little more wide receiver 1-esque talent. Just in the NFL, they don't necessarily put up the wide receiver 1 production all the time.
Right.
I mean, leave Jalen Waddle. Devonta Smith has been relegated to wide receiver 2 behind AJ Brown. I mean, that's Jameson Williams, same way. So,
I mean,
but
Calvin
USC
Ridley was just an unfortunate situation too. Before the whole
Exactly,
suspension, he was top receiver.
he was, but USC just constant production. That's all they put out. That's all that school spits out for wide receivers, just constant production. Nothing flashy, never the top of the line talent, but just consistency.
That's what I'm saying with Ohio State. They are consistent, but better. Like
Consistently, yes. That I'm not putting USC up above them, but I'm just saying like USC, they should get some love here. They should definitely get some love here.
They have some
All 40 schools got love. It's just no matter where do you rank them.
Yeah,
I'm
going LSU one still.
You still got LSU first?
I got them one just for right
Ohio
now.
State, USC, Bama.
Yeah, for right
If we're
now.
talking about
Yeah.
current NFL,
Ohio State has
current
passed them
NFL.
up a little bit. You even said it. They got another wide receiver on the ranks coming up as one of
they do.
one of the best
I'm
prospects
talking, but he's not in the NFL right now. I'm
I
talking
know, but
about current.
he could have been the number
current
1
state.
this year.
Talking about current state of the NFL, LSU's got it. If
So
you
you-
look at all-time production, it's Ohio State far
Oh yeah,
away.
all-time production is Ohio State, but
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what we're talking about, right? Like we're all time, like at current all
Well,
time. I feel like
it
that
just
works
says
best
which
right now
school.
too.
I'm pretty sure when I was reading that article, it's like they were talking about all the recent guys. So they saying which schools wide receiver use. I'm pretty much when I was reading that article, I think it was recent. So I'm probably gonna say recency is what they mean by this question. So I will
You can
say
count Jeremiah
LSU.
Smith though. You
Yeah,
can
but he's
count
not in the
Jeremiah
NFL
Smith.
yet.
Yeah, but he could have been the number 1 pick this year if he was allowed to go into the NFL yet, but he's not until his sophomore year, junior year.
But the Tennessee Titans have taken Jeremiah Smith over
He's not eligible
Cam
until
Cam Ward.
2027.
100% they would have taken him over Cam Ward.
Jeremiah Smith, but you got to talk about Ryan Williams in the same way, though, too. Like Ryan
With
Williams
Will
was maybe
Levis at
drafted
quarterback?
last year, but
I mean, Ryan Williams isn't Jeremiah Smith right now, though.
I mean, think about it, though. You take
Ryan Williams is almost
or
as good,
Jeremiah Smith.
almost just as good as Jeremiah
Yeah,
Smith.
Ryan
I agree,
Williams
but
is
he's not better.
He wasn't
I will
projected
say
to
that.
be number
Ryan
one
Williams
right
is
now.
right
though.
there.
Ryan Williams is in the same light, also not able to get drafted until 2027.
I understand that, bro, but I'm saying that he was not projected to be number one in this draft if he was able to go into the draft yet. He would have been a
He'd
first
have been
rounder.
top
absolutely.
5. He'd
He would
have been
have
top 5.
top 10, but number one would have been Jeremiah Smith.
So the Tennessee
I don't know
Titans
if- I don't know if
passed
any
up-
receiver
the-
was going
the
before
Tennessee
Travis Hunter,
Titans
though.
would have passed up on Cam Ward and had Will
Yes.
Levis throw the ball.
Yes.
Let me tell you
Yes.
this. Arch Manning is going to be available next year, and Arch Manning is a generational talent. Cam Ward is a really good college quarterback, but he's not a generational talent. And
They were
he's
thinking about
older
taking
than
Travis
Arch
Hunter.
was.
What do you don't think they would took
Mhm.
Jeremiah Smith?
They should have taken Abdul Carter is what they should have done.
That's exactly who I said they should have taken. Abdul Carter. Their defense is horrific.
Mhm.
Defense
They
is the
should have
good
taken
part
Abdul
about
Carter.
their team.
Their offense was
But
more
it's
horrific
still
than their
bad.
defense was.
But it's still bad. I mean, they can be the best part of the team, but it's still terrible.
Mm.
Yup.
Oh,
you said the quiet part out loud.
Yep.
oh.
Look,
For those
man.
who don't know Gia Duddy, go look her up.
Wow. But yeah, I don't know, bro. I think Ohio State just the consistency all the time and right now, with all those players coming up, especially. I think LSU's kind of falling off, but that's just me.
I mean, yeah, nobody's argument here is incorrect because it's too much talent on this list right here. But it's just a matter about what you value.
I just don't think we could hold on to 2020 forever, bro. I think it's time to move on. from
There's
that.
2 receivers in there that were the 2 best rookie receivers from last year that are on that LSU graphic. So I don't think we're holding on to 2020 when we say that.
I mean,
Yeah,
considering that there's more consistent players coming out of Ohio State still, even with those good rookies from last year, I'd say that it's still kind of holding on to it a little bit by putting Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase still in the conversation with them.
I mean, like I said, though, it's quality versus quantity. Ohio State has a lot more receivers coming out of their factory than LSU does, but the quality at LSU is better than the quality at Ohio State. But the quantity at Ohio State is a lot greater than the quantity at LSU.
Ohio State has quality and quantity. That's the biggest difference.
Well, no one's saying they're bad. It's just in terms of better
No.
overall talent, it's LSU.
It's just we're talking about like top 5, top 7 guys versus top 15, top 20 guys.
Yeah, that's the difference. But we're gonna jump into our last topic, which is our top 5 college football teams heading into the season.
Yeah, so I introduced this last night as more of a not like who your 5 best are going into this upcoming season with college football being just about a month away, but who are your 5 that you're most excited to watch, right? So I'll kickstart with a couple of them. I think in a roundabout way, first and foremost, I think Clemson is going to be the most exciting team to watch this year. I think they're going to take the biggest step forward. They have a really easy ACC schedule. Their toughest games are going to be on their non-conference. Their toughest games are going to be week 1. They play LSU, if I'm not mistaken, and I think week 3 they play South Carolina. And South Carolina is going to be pretty good this year. Don't sleep on South Carolina. They're another one of my most exciting teams to watch this year. But Clemson's got an easy schedule. They were just a playoff team last year. Yeah, they barely beat SMU. SMU is probably going to be their toughest ACC game. And SMU, I don't think they're going to be the same, especially with Tyler Van Dyke at quarterback this year. So Clemson's going to be the exciting team to come out of the ACC. I think UNC is another team that I'm excited to watch just because of Bill Belichick and seeing what he can do with that program. I think in year 1, UNC is going to they're going to work their way into a top 25 ranking. They're not a playoff team. They're not at all. But I think they'll weasel their way into a top 25 ranking, especially if their non-conference schedule. If they go 3-0 non-conference, UNC. I think they'll weasel their way into a top 25 ranking at some point this year.
I
So
agree.
Clemson, UNC, I like South Carolina. Lenore Sellers he's shown that he's not bought and paid for. He committed to USC, South Carolina. He committed to South Carolina. He said he's staying there, right? He could have went anywhere else in the country this year and said, no thanks. I would like to play my ball at South Carolina. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country out there. Arch Manning is taking away a lot of the attention, but Lenore Sellers Jr., if you haven't watched any college football this year, watch South Carolina. Georgia Tech is another one that I'm excited to watch. For whatever reason, I watched a lot of ACC ball last year, and I really liked what I saw at Georgia Tech, and I think they're poised to take a step up. And then lastly, Tennessee, but for the wrong reasons. I think Tennessee is set for a setback in a way. Nico Yamaliva, they basically made the first ever college football trade, right? Nico Yamaliva goes to UCLA. Joey Aguilar, who was at App State, then went to UCLA, decides to transfer again to Tennessee, led college football in interceptions. It was at least top 5 in interceptions last year in college football. So I'm curious to see what Tennessee looks like. I think long-term they're a good team, but I don't think they make it back to the playoffs this year. I don't think they do. I think it's going to be an interesting team to watch.
Go ahead, Chris.
Quick 5.
I'll go with Alabama. Ryan Williams will be a lot of fun to watch in his sophomore year. He's still a year younger than everybody. I think that team will bounce back at least a little bit from what they were last year. Penn State's still going to have Drew Aller back this year. I think this might finally be the year
Heisman.
Where they make a run. I know James Franklin gets a lot of flack there for not really getting anything done in the postseason. I think this is the year they finally change that. They had a cakewalk to the title last year. Didn't end up happening. Obviously, Texas is going to be a really fun team to watch with Arch Manning finally getting to be the starter for them. I think this is their year to lose. If they lose this year, I don't even know what to say. This is definitely their year. Ohio State's obviously going to be interesting because they always are. And that was 4, I believe. So I'll just shout out Wisconsin because I'm more intrigued to see what happens this year. They're probably not going to be very good. I don't see them winning more than 5 or 6 games. However,
go for it. Go. Sorry.
However, if they somehow get into a bowl game, it's a success for them this year. And if they're able to do what they were able to do in the mid-2010s, where they take it from no expectations all the way to at least somewhat relevant again, it would be a good year for them.
Dude, they legitimately have the toughest schedule, like consensus-wise, the toughest schedule in college football this year. I think, and Joel Klatt said it best. I was listening to Joel Klatt the other day. Wisconsin winning 3 games. They might be a better football team this year than they were last year and might win less games because of how tough that schedule is. Washington's going to be really good this year. They play Oregon again. They go to Alabama. They have Ohio State. There's a couple more games in there, too, that are really tough. And then at the end of the season, too, Paul Bunyan's Axe is never an easy game. Yeah. They always play the Hawkeyes. So, they might win 3 games this year, and that might be considered a win. It's a weird direction that the program's going in.
Games in the first 2 weeks, and they got Maryland in week 4. So those are for sure most likely 3 wins on their schedule. But I think the more intriguing thing to watch is how Luke Fickell handles this season because he has not been a success for them at all so far. Their first season was underwhelming, and last year was their worst year in over 20 years, not making a bowl game. So whether he sticks around, I think depends on how this team performs this year because this will be his 3rd year in charge. And a lot of times they give college coaches 3 years to figure it out, and he hasn't done it through his first 2 yet.
Well, this is also going to be the first year we have all Luke Fickell recruits on the team, though,
Which
too.
Is not bad. That's not bad.
No, it's not bad. He's a great recruiter. Really so it's going to be an interesting year. But, Chris, can you confidently tell me that Wisconsin will win a game beyond September? Because I don't think they can.
I don't think so either. And that's why I'm going to be intrigued to watch them specifically because I don't know if they can. I think they'll probably take one. They'll take one of those other games against Nebraska or an Iowa.
Michigan is going to be a contender again this year. I think we're sleeping a little too much on Michigan. Michigan's going to be a contender again this year. Iowa, they're not beating.
Beat Iowa, come on.
No, I just don't think so. I just don't think so.
Is this game
Um,
at Madison or is it?
Yes, it's in Madison
Madison,
this
we're
time.
not losing that game.
But then again, they also lost in Madison pretty handily to Iowa a couple years ago without even a quarterback.
now
They also
after
lost to
Iowa,
Washington
Hill
State.
if we're talking after Iowa, then yeah, that's gonna be tough. Unless you play like Indiana. Indiana's not that great. Illinois is really good. I don't know.
Indiana was terrific last year.
I know, but Illinois is
They
better.
didn't lose a lot of guys either.
But
Monsieur, go
like
ahead
you
and
said,
pick your
Wisconsin
top five.
got better.
Go ahead
But
and take your
Wisconsin
top-
was so far in the trenches last year. They
They
were
were-
awful
my
last
top
year.
five-
They had 3 good weeks, and that was it.
Hold on, my top 5. I'm gonna go with smaller teams than you guys had. This is gonna be fun. All right. First off, I'm gonna start with the Buffs, the Colorado Buffs. You know,
That's exactly what I was going to do.
no
Smaller
Shedeur.
team, says Colorado.
Yeah, but they're smaller than
The team
Big
with the
Ten
most media
and
coverage
the
in
Big
all of
Team.
college.
The Big Ten teams are smaller, but Shedeur and Travis they're gone. So the QB drama between I think Caden Salter, I think his name is, and Juju Lewis is going to be very interesting.
I think
hopefully
Lewis
we
will
get
end up being the starter.
I hope so. I think he's better. And then number 2, Arizona Wildcats. Now this is crazy. I know Arizona State was better last year, but the Wildcats
Mhm.
are very interesting. They're gonna air it out on their offense. That's all they do. They know how to throw the ball very well. Noah Fifta, I think, is his name. Or is he still? I think he's still in the league. I know McMillan got drafted. They dropped like 40 points in six times last season. So I'm very interested to see what the Wildcats do. I think they're going to be better. Be able to rival against ASU, which will be a great rivalry as it always is. This one's controversial. Miami, are they back?
Miami's going to be good.
I don't know if they're back. You know, Cam Ward is out of there. Coaching seat is kind of warm. Let's be honest here, and the pressure is very high because they have not performed very well. But are they back? I'm excited to see what they can do. They have a lot of high stake games going on, and you know they bring the energy. Now my 4th one is NC State. Now this one's interesting. I know you said UNC, but I think NC State is going to be a little bit better than UNC.
They will be.
They're just sneaky good, but they're just inconsistent. You know what I mean? So they're always one upset away from shaking up the ACC, which is the most fun part about that team. So they also do a lot of trick plays. So I like their team. Now, number 5 is very tricky for me. I'm either going to go with Missouri or Georgia Tech. I think Missouri, their offense took off last year with Brady Cook. And then Georgia Tech, Haynes King, and Buster Faulkner run like a sneaky, crazy, fun spread.
They almost upset Georgia last year.
Exactly. I think Georgia Tech's really good. I don't know.
They beat, and they were, if you remember, week 0 last year when they were playing in Dublin, they beat up on Florida State
That was a
big
crazy
time
game, dude.
to kick off their season. Yeah, dude, I really like Haynes King. I really do. He was a transfer from Texas A&M, and he's a really true dual threat because he's not too good at throwing the ball, but man, can he run it? And he reads an offense really good, or reads defenses really good. So I'm not concerned about Haynes King's performance at quarterback. I'm more concerned about his throwing ability because he just doesn't throw the ball too well. But his quarterbacking is great.
Quarterback
that makes sense to you guys.
I know, I understand completely what you mean, but yeah, that Georgia Tech team is either Georgia Tech or Missouri. I don't know how you guys feel about Missouri, but I think they're going to be very sneaky as well.
I think playoffs possibly.
Oof,
I think they're possibly in the
that,
playoffs.
That'll be tough.
I mean, now with the expanded playoff, pretty much.
Yeah,
that's true.
And SEC bias, they love the SEC, so they're going to put in whoever they can get.
Missouri was good last year, man, but they weren't good, but they're sneaky good. They played.
Jalen, pull up that comment. Pull up that comment. So I know Arch and Texas are going to be awesome. I don't think anyone here disagrees with that. We're talking about the 5 teams we're most excited to watch this year, not our top 5 right now. Because if it was our top 5 right now, we'd all have Texas, Ohio State,
Texas
Penn State, Oregon, Alabama, Michigan.
That'd
I mean, we'd have all the same teams. We're talking about our teams, like the 5 teams in no specific order that we are the most excited to watch this year in the season.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do mine real quick, and then we got to hurry up and get final thoughts. So. Number 1, Michigan State. No, just
here we go.
Trash.
I mean, that's my
4-8,
that's
my favorite.
That's my school. So,
anyways,
but my number 1 team is definitely Texas. I want to see how Arch Manning looks for sure because you know all this hype around him. He's supposed to be great, generational, all that. I want to see it.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Colorado. Obviously, I follow Deion Sanders, and I love the Colorado Buffaloes, so I'm excited to watch them every single season. especially now that they don't have Travis Hunter and Stuart Sanders. I'm ready to see like what's the next step.
Just out of curiosity, how far is Boulder from Salt Lake? Like, if you wanted to go watch a game.
Pretty far.
About 6 or 7 hours because Denver's about 6.
Damn,
7
that's
hours.
further than I thought.
Well, you got to drive through the Rockies too, so that just
Yeah.
adds to the
Drive all
time.
Like
around
6,
Mountain.
7. So, my third is Notre Dame. I saw how they got all the way to the college football playoff, and I'm like, okay, well, they're supposed to be good every season, and their running back is coming back this season. So I want to see how are they going to actually win it this year, or are they going to fold?
It's so hard because they're not in the conference, because they're an
Exactly.
independent team. It's so hard to make the case for them because they can't win a conference championship. Every single game is non-conference, and they don't always schedule the toughest opponents. Like they're always going to play they always play Louisville every year, which is kind of silly to me. Like it seems like every single year they're playing the Louisville Cardinals, and it's like same
they
teams
play
every year for
USC
Notre Dame.
every year, which is always a good test for them.
What was that?
Yeah.
What was that? My third or fourth?
That was your third.
I think that was your third.
Third.
So my fourth would be Alabama. I want to see how Ryan Williams look. I'm not talking. I don't really want to watch Ohio State. Me being a Michigan State fan, I'm not, excited about Ohio State. But
When they blow everyone out, almost.
Yeah, that's
every
what I'm
game,
saying.
too,
I'm not
it's like
excited
not even
at
fun to
all.
watch them, really.
and my fifth, I haven't watched too much, but I'm kind of excited. I want to see how BYU looks.
That's a good
Yeah,
team.
Apparently
yeah.
Jake Retzlaff's gone.
Tulane now. He's with Tulane.
He's with Tulane. He's gone. So how are they gonna bounce back? They supposed to be one of the favorites to win it when they had them. So win the Big 12. So
yeah, and they started 9-0 last year.
yeah,
Fell off a cliff. They were in playoff conversations up until week 11. So that's going to be, like you said, that's it. I think the quarterback room. What is that quarterback room going to look like going into this year? That's going to be an interesting topic here going forward. And I mean, we're talking about how close you are to Boulder. How close are you to Provo? Like, could you sneak down and watch a BYU game? 40 minutes? Yeah. Go watch that. Go
There
watch
you
the
go.
BYU
Oh yeah, I'm
Tigers
definitely
or
gonna
whatever
go
the
down
logo
there.
is.
I'm gonna go definitely watch some AJ Badanza and stuff too. So
Oh, Asia Devanza and
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Badanza.
Yep.
So I'm
And
gonna
you can
definitely get some
celebrate a win
BYU,
with a good old root beer, too. So
some Utah
or a Dr.
Utes,
Pepper.
some Utah Utes and stuff in. So yeah, I'll be definitely doing a lot this fall. But all right, we're gonna jump in our final thoughts. We gotta get it quick. Let's get going.
Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. One more win to George Webb's. That's all I have to say.
Man, whatever. Shut up.
Cut it out. That's garbage. I wasn't here for that. Cut it out. I don't want to hear anything about
I've
George.
never had George Webb's, but
Horrible.
Neither have I.
it's funny.
Garbage. Anyways.
Well, when it's free, it probably tastes better. So
It tastes a little
Moving
better when it's
on.
free, yeah.
Yeah, Smuckers tastes better. Yeah, go ahead. But yeah,
And we got the Miz on the mound tonight, so
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, my final thought: a Fantastic Four comes out this week.
Yeah,
Big
that's
Marvel
right.
fan over here.
Yup.
I don't know if anyone wants to talk about that eventually, but
We'll definitely have to talk about it. We all gotta
can,
see
we
it
can.
first.
Look, I
Yeah.
saw Superman this past week, and that movie was amazing. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be bad, but it was great. I'm a huge
well, it's
Batman
James Gunn
fan.
producing it, directing it. So
I'm a huge Batman fan at heart. So that
Yeah,
kind
that's
of
my
hurt my
favorite
heart.
superhero.
But Superman, it was great. I recommend it for people who like superhero movies. But Fantastic Four is going to be great. Go see it. I'm going to see it Thursday night at 7:00, and I always see it with my buddy Nick. We see every Marvel movie together since we were like high school. So we're gonna go see that and check it out. And hopefully, if we do a pod Friday, I'll be able to give my non-spoiler review on the movie. So it should be fun.
yeah,
That's
I
good
personally did not watch Thunderbolts / New Avengers yet because it
Amazing.
technically comes after Fantastic Four in the timeline though. So
Technically,
I
yeah,
gave it.
does.
I'm waiting till it comes out on Disney Plus next month before I watch it, and then I'm gonna watch
Great
Fantastic
movie.
Four in theaters.
Go
It
to the
was a great
theaters,
movie.
man.
Okay.
Go to the theaters.
I'm going there to watch Fantastic for
Okay.
sure.
All right, support these.
I guess my final thoughts today are they're going to be baseball related again. Who'd have thought that in May 6.5 back, 6.5 back.
How does it feel, Cubber?
Where are we now?
What
Where
I
are
will
we
say,
now?
what I will say about that is that I never said that this division was over. I hated how Cubs
whatever.
fans.
Oh,
I hated how Cubs
whatever.
You might have been the one out of the
Whatever,
1 million then, because on Twitter, all we saw was the screenshots
Dude,
and
Bleacher
the
Nation
trash
wakes
talk.
up at Bleacher Nation wakes up at 7 a.m. and all he can think about is the Brewers.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah,
about
I
a Brewers.
thought-
Talk about an obsession. I mean, come on.
I knew at some point that the Brewers were gonna make a run realistically in my brain. That I knew it was gonna happen at some point, but I still think the Cubs are gonna win the division.
Hey,
The
there's
funniest
still
part
a
about-
lot of season left. There's
That's
still
what
a lot
I'm
of
saying.
season
That's why I was
left.
like, at some point in time, they're not gonna be 6.5 back, bro. It's not gonna.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen. It's never.
There's
happened.
62 games left to go. There's still plenty of time.
I'm saying, I still
It's
think
not
the Cubs
over
win.
by any means, but it's just it's so much fun. This was probably the most fun I've ever had watching a Brewers team, and 2018 was special. 2018 was probably the best Brewers team I've ever seen with my own two eyes. But this team right now might be on the best run of Brewers baseball in franchise history.
They're the
I'm
first
willing to
team.
go that far. Team Streak won 13 in a row to start the year, and this run might be better.
Do it for the youth, baby.
They are the first team to sweep the defending champions in MLB
Twice.
history.
Twice.
Yeah, I said
The
the whole
season
season
sweep.
series. The season series, they are the first team to sweep the season series with the defending champion.
And it wasn't. It was only close like one game, which is kind of crazy.
I
8 to
mean,
7.
and they've been talking like, oh, the Dodgers are cold. They're in a slump. They just went out and beat the brakes off the Twins yesterday. So it's not like they
Yeah.
were necessary. I think they were
But-
cold more as a symptom of playing us for 6 games more than anything else.
Yes. Byron Buxton hit that leadoff home run, and then the Twins forgot how to play baseball after that. So I mean, the Dodgers are still a terrific team on paper. I honestly, as a Brewers fan, I would be scared. I would be kind of scared to face the Dodgers in the playoffs. They want us. They want us big
I want
time.
them. I want them.
Then again, the
I
entire
want that.
league is
I
saying
want
that
them.
if the Dodgers face the Brewers in the playoffs, it's Brewers in 5. I mean, that's what we're hearing right now. Is we're the kryptonite of the Avengers, right? All the memes last year about like the Dodgers winning 116 games, and now they have to
Oh.
face the Brewers in the power of friendship. I mean, that's
no. They got Blake Snell
We-
coming back. They
Yeah,
got-
Joey
dude,
Ortiz,
Blake Snell,
Rex
he looks
Terang, and
rough.
Sal Frelick.
he's looking rough in AAA right now in his rehab. He's not looking that good.
Hey, Joey
It's gonna be
Ortiz,
interesting when he comes back.
Joey Ortiz got my respect now. He was really pissing me off the past few weeks, but he's been hitting balls now, which is what we needed. So I'm glad
Defensively, he's amazing too.
Yeah, defensively
Johnny
is great.
pitching again too.
I guess the question I have for you guys really quick is, do the Brewers or should the Brewers make a move before the deadline? Because I still think they should go and get a power
They need
bat.
one more move.
Chris?
Get something.
Does a
One
bear
move.
shit in the woods?
Yes.
Because I've seen people, like one of my friends is on the bandwagon where we don't need to make any more moves
No, you
because
need
of how
one
hot
more
we
move.
are. Because why screw it up?
Need a bat or
It's
something.
yes.
One
It's
more
just-
move.
back
We're
to
set.
Dude,
Chris-
Eugenio Suarez would fit into this team so well. It's like the missing puzzle piece because he
He
hits
would.
so many home runs. Miller Park is a hitter-friendly park, and he'd just go nuclear there. And we'd finally have that power bat in the lineup that has an OPS over 800, so they can't
Yeah,
talk
I was
about
just
that
about
anymore.
to say.
And we got
I
all
was
those
just
other
about to
guys
say.
surrounding him that get on base at a good rate. So he'd rake here, and it would just make perfect sense all around.
One more move.
Chris,
baby.
if
Right,
they
my-
don't make a move before the deadline, I might jump from the terrace level. This
Once the deadline is- isn't it coming up
is the
soon?
year you have to.
Isn't it 2
If
weeks
they
from
don't
now?
make a move this year, they never will. They
When is it?
never will.
When is the trade deadline? 2 weeks?
July
No,
31st.
Not even
31st.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah,
next week.
coming up. What is today? The 22nd? We
Yeah,
got
that's
9
next week.
days.
So my final thought is,
Man. I don't be emotional about stuff. Like, I ain't gonna cry. I ain't gonna cry, but like, I don't usually be feeling like that, bro. I feel so happy on the inside. Man.
Good for him, honestly.
Oh, man.
Honestly, he needed to go home after all.
that's
Such a
my final
loser.
thought. My final thought is like,
Oh
wow,
my
bro,
God.
this dude is
Such
back
a
with the
loser.
Blazers, bro.
Bro,
Like,
the
I'm like,
Nas,
I
the
don't
irrational
care.
hate.
Yes.
The irrational hate. It is
No,
crazy.
he wants to
I
lose.
can't hate it. I can't hate it because,
I hate it.
bro,
I don't.
he going back home where his children was.
They traded
bro.
him. They betrayed
I
him.
see.
They betrayed
No,
him.
no,
What are you
no.
talking
His
about?
his wife betrayed him, bro.
Oh my,
Like,
cut it out,
that's-
Sam.
like,
They
bro.
traded him.
Because they were going nowhere.
They were going
They were
absolutely
going nowhere.
And they're going somewhere now.
No, they're not. This is more of a, this is
They
more
were
of like
before, though.
this is more of an
This year
addressing.
they're not, but next
This is
year they possibly can do
addressing
something.
psychological needs more. Like for Dame, this is more of addressing psychological needs than anything.
I know.
Like, I don't think it's about winning anymore. I think he wants familiarity.
Yeah,
I think he wants to be with his
That's
family,
what I can respect.
and he wants to return home. He wants to go home.
But from the
Right?
basketball,
He had his fun. It's
he
the
didn't
prodigal
lose it.
son. It's the story of the prodigal son coming home. He's with his family forever, leaves, goes and parties, does stupid stuff, and then after a while he's like, you know what? This is not right for me. I gotta go home.
I respect
And the
family
dad
aspect.
welcomes his, like, dude, they said it best in Jump Around, just like the prodigal son I've returned. That's Damian Lillard right now. He's home. He's home.
Whatever.
It's a good fit. It's a good fit.
Subscribe, like,
Will they do
share,
anything?
comment,
Probably not,
follow
but
our
it would be
podcast
fun.
page on other platforms. Links are in the description box below. We'll post reels and shorts of this show. We will see you on Thursday, and see you then.